Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning, and we are welcoming back Susan Bennett from Canton Fine Arts Associates. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You ladies are so busy, and what big deal are you just going whew about?
Well, we just finished our annual 46th fundraiser called Christkindl Mart, and I'm telling you what, every year we work just so hard, but it's always worth it. But this year in particular, we had a wonderful response from the community, and we're so pleased.
Well, it's fun, isn't it? To just kick off really the Christmas season with
exactly
the amazing juried fine arts and crafts show. You all have that down to a science because that is a lot of work.
It is, but fortunately, we have a formula, if you will, and wise council and fabulous volunteers that we all have a job and we all do it and we all come together as a team.
And so another successful Christkindl Mart. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So for people who are thinking, well, now doesn't that mean they take the rest of the year off? Canton Fine Arts is always busy and always bringing such amazing programs to the community, and that's why we wanted to talk with you. Tell us a little bit, first of all, about the organization. Who are the Canton Fine Arts Associates?
I'd be happy to. Canton Fine Arts Associates really began in 1952, and the name was chosen by the president of that time, but it really reflects our main purpose, which is to present educational programs and promote the fine visual arts in our general area, and in particular to help through funding and education and programs the Canton Museum of Art.
That's the main thing. You're almost like the friends of the museum, aren't you?
That's right. Yes, we are.
So who can join? Do you have to be artistic?
No. Everybody thinks you have to paint or draw.
Right, exactly.
No. Anybody can join. It's a very simple application process. We're open to the public. Just come in the office or give a call, and we can send you out an application. And then, of course, there's a small membership fee yearly.
How small?
$25.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And what does that get you? Well, it gets you, special newsletters and information and access to everything at the museum. And then you do also have to join the Canton Museum of Art, and there's different categories of membership.
Sure. So you can just decide what works best for you and for your family.
Right.
And then at that point, you have all access to every amazing exhibit that they bring in. In fact, let's talk about the one that's just opening up now, Elijah Pierce. What do we know about that?
Elijah Pierce, which I don't know about you, but when you see a name like that, it's unusual. Well, Elijah Pierce is an American folk artist. He's passed now, but it was a prolific American woodcarver known for his sculptural panels. And if you've ever tried to cut wood, carve wood, do anything with wood, it is much more difficult than you think. But folk art, especially here in Ohio and the Midwest, is really fascinating.
I'm seeing more and more of painting on wood, big wood panels like barn siding or something.
Right.
But Elijah Pierce actually did the carving into it and made things in relief. Yes.
Right. He did. And then there's also painting involved. And then each one of his pieces has a message. And it might have been about the Vietnam War. It might have been about something in Scripture, something in popular culture. Anyway, it's absolutely astonishing. And then here's the really wonderful part. The second Wednesday of every month, Canton Fine Arts Associates sponsors a program for the public. And for $15, you get to have the program and a catered lunch.
Well, okay, now let's back up. This sounds really, really fun.
It is
so
fun.
Every single month you bring in a brand new program.
Yes.
Well, I want to hang on for the December one. We'll get to that. But tell me some of the programs you've had so far, and then what can we look forward to that's coming up? But skip December.
Okay. All right. Well, our programs are September through May. And this past year, we had, in September, we had Treasures of the Museum with Max Barton, the executive director of the Canton Museum of Art. And he gave us a fabulous private tour and explanation of select works of the permanent collection of the museum. And did you know that the Canton Museum of Art, our little Canton Museum, has $25 million worth of beautiful artwork in its permanent collection.
And you can never have all of that out at once. So do they rotate? Every once in a while you get to see some of these amazing things. And,
right.
And I mean, they've got very famous artists represented.
Yes, they do.
In that, do they not?
Do. Especially Andrew Wyeth. Most people, at least in America, are familiar with his work. And that was one of the featured works that Max spoke about at the program. So, and again, remember, this is open to the public.
Yes.
So it was a wonderful program. And then we also had a delicious full course catered lunch.
So
for
cool.
$15, I mean, you can't beat it.
and so fun to be able to see behind the scenes and
yes.
see just what our own Canton Museum of Art owns.
Right.
So thank you for making that available. And
that was wonderful.
What else have you done so far?
Well, and then we switched it up. In October, we thought, well, we'll have the dramatic arts instead of the visual arts. And so we had a portrait of Queen Dolly with Lucinda Fraley, who's the Director of Education at the National First Ladies Library, and so humble. But she presented a dramatic portrayal of First Lady Dolly Madison.
That had to be so fun.
Oh, it was. And she was Dolly Madison. She came complete with her inaugural gown and headdress. Of course, it was reproduction. And she just gave us such insight into the history of the country at that time, what was going on. It was just a wonderful portrayal.
And you're mentioning there another jewel of Canton, and that's the First Ladies Library.
Right.
And I'm understanding that now the way to do museums and the way to do history is in the first person.
That's right.
But the First Ladies Library's always been doing that. Their
Yes.
docents always have welcomed you as a First Lady, and they are in character that entire time.
That's right. And it really is interesting. Plus, she also allowed questions afterwards. And so...
Well, that's brave. And to
well,
be able to answer as Dolly?
Yeah, she answered as Dolly.
Wow.
And, of course, I knew that Dolly Madison was one of the most socially successful First Ladies we ever had, and she and Jackie Kennedy. And so it made it really interesting. But she, in her presentation, explained why she did that. She did it to help her husband, who was the president.
Wow.
And boy, we've got a real history lesson. But she made it fun too.
That's so fun.
It was really great
to get a really kind of sneak peek into their lives. Makes them seem more like people, not just historical figures.
Exactly.
So fun. All right. Well, you've given us an idea of how much fun you are by what you've done. What do we still have to look forward to that we haven't missed yet?
Well,
again, skip December. We'll come back to it.
Well, you just heard me speak about that wonderful exhibit that we have coming up, and on January 10th, which is our program for 2018, we are going to have Max Barton, again, executive director, present a private tour and explanation of the Elijah Pierce An American Journey exhibit with folk art. And that, folk art takes the intellectual kind of out of art, which for many of us can be kind of a roadblock. So take away all that intellectual stuff for the most part, and you have folk art. So, why
So
did
you're
this
saying
person...
it's more heart
Yes,
than
more
head?
heart. That is right. It is more heart than head.
But inspirational, isn't he?
Yes,
I mean, this particular artist is so inspirational.
Extremely inspirational. And, of course, one of the questions we always want to ask as people is, where did this artist get his inspiration? And so Max will answer that. He will take questions, and you'll actually go on the tour of the exhibit with him. Again, that will be private. And so that's January.
Okay,
And then
February.
February, we get even more fun because we have an actual local Canton artist and owner of the Hub Art Factory, which is a local art gallery. and he is going to demonstrate right in front of you his reverse glass painting technique.
That will be so cool. And
it will be.
So if you're doing the second Wednesday of every month, does that land on Valentine's Day?
It does February 14th.
I wondered. Okay.
So I'm hoping he's going to be like, okay, red paint, Valentine's. I mean, I'm sure.
We'll see what
whatever.
he paints.
We'll see
and
what he
paints. And that is Tim Carmody, owner of
Tim
the Hub.
Carmody, yes.
Tremendous artist.
Very,
and we're
very.
so happy that he came back to town. There's a young guy that's so talented. I know he went off to Chicago for a while and was involved there and wanted to bring that energy back to Canton. And so, boy, are we happy to have him back in town.
We are.
So talented.
We're very lucky, too, that he has kind of increased the awareness of the arts because he's so talented and because he has such a successful outreach with his gallery.
Yep, the Hub is a great place to stop. He carries all kinds of interesting things.
He does.
There.
And he'll be talking about that again. You can ask questions, and it'll be very informal, of course. And again, all these programs, if I didn't mention before, are presented at the Canton Museum of Art.
Okay, and $15 each, but that includes lunch.
That's right. And
that's awesome.
It's a full course hot lunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not nibbling on salad.
Oh no. We're talking, roast beef, whatever.
Awesome. Okay, March.
Again, we go back to a little bit of history with the program Dear Jane Civil War Quilts.
Ooh.
That's March 14th. And can you imagine? These are genuine quilts that they have preserved from the Civil War.
So these are not reproductions.
No, she will have some reproductions, but she'll explain it all. And she, meaning Barbara Smith, who is a local resident here and employed by Hall of Fame too. But she's going to present and explain the exhibit of the handmade quilts from the Civil War era.
That'll be fascinating.
It will be.
And beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And again, you'll be able to ask questions and just see the quilts and why. I'm not going to spoil it because she will explain why they're called Dear Jane quilts.
Dear Jane quilts. And that's a specific kind?
Yes, it is.
All right. Can't wait to hear more about that. How about April?
Oh, April. Oh, this is my favorite. Or who can tell who's my favorite? But April 11th, we have the honor of the museum's head, really, of the art therapy program at the museum, Amy Hope, and she is going to present Art for Health and Healing. And don't let it, detract from the fun. It is going to be fun, and there is so much going on today in the field of art therapy. But Amy is a licensed therapist, and she's going to tell all the applications. She's going to explain it. Or, what does it do? I mean, one of my own personal application favorites is our wonderful veterans who come back from Iraq, Iran, wherever, and they do have post-traumatic stress syndrome. And she works with veterans like that, as well as lots of other different types of people. So the applications of art therapy now are many, and she'll explain all that. But she'll also show some fun aspects of it. So
and we're really hearing more about this, aren't we?
Yes. Yes.
We've always thought of the Canton Museum of Art as being very involved with education.
Right.
But this is something that, do they also take this into the schools, if I'm understanding right? And she uses this with children as well and students as well?
Absolutely.
Will we be doing a little art therapy of our own?
Funny you should mention that. We will be doing a little, just nothing. Don't worry, you're not going to get paint or anything. There's just a pencil and paper, a little exercise she's going to offer. So you better understand from a personal level just what is art therapy, because you do see it in the news and magazines, and most people, including myself, do not know the full story behind it, how it got started, how does it help people, and who does it help.
But it truly does.
It truly does, and I'm proud to say the Canton Museum of Art has begun this as a whole department now, thanks to Max Barton. And so we do have an outreach program to help others.
Kind of a new program for the museum.
Yes.
All right. Well, we want to hop back to December, but hang on, because we know you're going to be doing. Well, you tell us, what is going to be the name of the December program?
Oh, I'm so excited to present this because I can't wait myself. On December 13th, which is a Wednesday, you will be able to see Christmas at the White House at the Canton Museum of Art. And this is going to be offered by a wonderful and very talented speaker, Janet Weir-Creighton, who was the former deputy assistant to President George W. Bush. So she knows what she's talking about.
She does know what she's talking about. And she's going to be joining us to talk more about this program after these words. You're listening to Our Community.